Hello, leader. Let me ask you something. If you stepped away from your business for 2 weeks, no texts, no calls, no quick questions, would things run or would things stall? Because here's what I'm seeing right now across so many established service businesses. From the outside, everything looks successful. Full schedules, busy teams, and revenue coming in. But behind the scenes, every decision still runs through the owner. The team hesitates to make a decision without her approval, and growth quietly plateaus. Not because the business isn't good enough, but because the business still depends so much on her. That's why today we're talking about the bottleneck trap. Now, that's not a new term for you, but what you might not know is that your team is frustrated with you and have been for a while now. But things have just shifted into this way of operating. And until you know how to recognize it and why it happens, even to strong leaders like you won't know how to fix it. And here's the clincher. You can stop being a bottleneck in your team today, and you won't have to lower your standards. Now, if you missed last week's episode 415, that was all about delegating. Just know that these 2 episodes were intentionally planned to air back to back. Welcome to the Stacking Your Team podcast, smart leadership for women who mean business. This show has been on air since 2018 to help women who own established brick-and-mortar businesses fix the people side of their business so they can stop carrying payroll pressure, stop over-functioning as the default decision maker, and build a team that actually performs without burning anyone out or damaging their reputation. I'm your host, Shelli Warren. My entire career has been built on leadership coaching, team development, and creating accountable, productive cultures inside real workplaces. Over here, we don't just talk about leadership, we live it. This isn't online leadership theory, academic research, or HR speak. The work we do here is grounded in real teams, real workplaces, and real consequences. Each episode delivers practical, no-fluff strategies to help you lead a team that can carry the business forward with you, not on your back. And I'll say it again, the team that got you here might not be the team that gets you there. Let's go. Welcome back to Stacking Your Team, the podcast for women who own established service-based businesses and are ready to step fully into leadership. If your business is growing, but it still feels like everything depends on you, this episode is going to hit home. You know, there's a moment in business that doesn't get talked about enough. It's not startup chaos or it's not survival mode. It's this. You're successful, but you're exhausted, and the business moves at the speed of you. And here's the truth. If your business depends on you to make all the decisions, your growth will fizzle out. It'll stay stuck. It's going to plateau. That's not a motivation problem. It's not a hiring problem. It's a leadership structure problem. And I want to be clear about with you today is that this is not because you're doing anything wrong. It's because you built a business this way on purpose. Think back to when you launched your business. You were the standard. You were the decision maker. You were the one who made it all work. But what got you here is now what's holding you back. Let's talk about what this actually looks like day to day. You might be a bottleneck if your team asks you questions they could answer themselves. You're involved in scheduling, client issues, and strategy. You feel like if you don't check in, it won't be done right. Your calendar is packed, but not with leadership work. And you can't remember the last time you took time away without feeling anxious about what's going on with the team. And here's the part that most people miss. Your team isn't just waiting on you. They're being trained to wait on you. Yikes. Hearing that likely burned, because when decision-making isn't clear, everything escalates up to you. And that has a very big spillover effect on all the things that were and still are very important to you and your brand. That spillover effect of your team waiting on you for permission, for the sign-off, for the go-ahead can look like this. Slower service for clients and customers, frustrated team members, missed opportunities, and a business that cannot scale past you. Scaling requires a very specific shift. You need to move away from being the operator to becoming the leader. And that's not just a mindset shift. Nope. You can't just think about it and have an intention to evolve into a leader that your business now needs. Nope. It's structural. It's operational. And it has to be visible to your team. Here's one of the most powerful moves you can make right now if you're serious about not being a bottleneck in your business. Clarify who makes what decisions. Now, I get it. This is scary, especially if you proudly wear the control freak badge of honor, or the I have a high standards badge of honor, or the no one can do it as well as me crown. It can feel hard letting go and deferring to others. And if you're not taking the steps to step back, everything still is going to default to you. You don't have a team. You have a group of people who work within a system of dependency. And in my opinion, if that's how you've set up your business, you are woefully overpaying people. Now, on the flip side, the businesses that scale well look like this. They know who makes what decisions. So the team leaders can make decisions all day long. They know when and what requires input from you, and they know what stays within the responsibility of you, the owner. Imagine your team stops escalating everything to you. Imagine not getting pulled into the weeds and your brain finally having space for thinking and planning and strategy. Now, you might be thinking, okay, Shelli, well, that all sounds great, but how many leaders do I need to promote? And if I promote them, won't I have to hire replacements for them? No, you do not need a big team to scale, but you do need to create a small but mighty leadership team. And this is where most business owners hesitate because they think, I don't have anyone who's ready. But here's the truth. Leaders aren't found, they're developed. So look for people you already have who take ownership naturally. They care about the business and they also want more responsibility. And then give them defined areas to lead, train them, and then let them make the decisions. Because until someone else is leading, you are still the only leader in the building. That bottleneck. Now, at the beginning of this episode, I mentioned to you that you can get out of being a bottleneck without lowering your standards. Here's how. But it means talking about something that doesn't get enough credit. Here it is. Performance management. Now, when most people hear that, they think, oh, HR, paperwork. But here's what performance management actually does. It turns your expectations into something your business can run on. Because when expectations are vague, you have to step in more, you correct more, and you carry more. So you're leading more, you're exhausted, and now you're burnt out. But when expectations are clear, your team can self-correct, your leaders can lead the team, and you can step out of daily oversight. This is how you stop being needed in every moment without lowering your standards. It's even more powerful when you have clear work plans for everyone on the team, so it is crystal clear about what they're getting paid to do. Now, I am not an HR resource. That's not my jam. Leadership is my jam. But I believe deeply in performance management, not as paperwork, but as one of the most powerful leadership systems you can put into place to stop being the bottleneck and elevating the capability of your team. I've seen it happen over and over again with my clients, that when expectations are clear, roles are defined, and accountability is consistent, your team doesn't wait on you. They lead. That's why this is a major focus at our upcoming in-person retreat here in Canada next week. We're not skimming the surface. We're building the actual structure your business can run on. Performance reviews, accountability rhythms, leadership roles. This is the work that gets you out of the day-to-day and builds a leadership team that can carry the business forward without you in every decision. Now, the other key to finally not being the bottleneck in your business so that you can scale is that at some point, effort stops working. You cannot outwork a broken system. If you're still manually tracking things, answering the same questions, and repeating instructions, that's not a people problem. That's a systems gap. I've seen it over and over again with my clients. As their business grows, their informal processes fail. So the goal is not more hustle. The goal, and the work, let's be real, is to develop systems for communication and client care. And yes, systems for tracking performance. Systems do something powerful. They make consistency possible without you. This is where it all comes together because you can have decision clarity, leaders, and systems. Now, there's a watch out. Even when you have those 3 keys to finally getting out of being the bottleneck in your business, but if your culture tolerates inconsistency, it's all going to fall apart. And here's why. What you tolerate determines the culture of your business. So it's not what you say, it's what actually happens across the team. So this is where real leadership shows up. Leadership isn't focused on being liked or not and avoiding tough conversations. It's in holding the line, raising your standards, and being consistent. No favoritism, no turning a blind eye to behavior or outcomes that don't fit your ideal workplace vision, and the experience that you truly want of your clients and customers. When you become known for being that kind of leader who walks the talk, your team rises, your business stabilizes, and your growth becomes sustainable. Here's the truth I want you to walk away with today. Your business cannot keep running through you. If it does, it will grow with you, but it will never grow beyond you. And the moment you share decision-making, build leaders, and set clear expectations, and then install a system, everything changes. Not overnight, but permanently. If you've ever caught yourself opening up your AI tool and typing in things like, how do I hold team members accountable without them quitting? Why does everything still come through me? How do I get out of this day-to-day stuff? If that's you, then you're already asking for the kind of support you get inside the Leadership Lab. Because this is the work we do right alongside you, clarifying your structure, setting real standards, hiring better, leading accountability conversations, and building a team that doesn't rely on you for everything. Now, this isn't theory. It's what actually fixes the problems you're trying to solve after a long day, typing into AI, when it's really a person who's lived it that can give you the most help. Here's the thing. You deserve a business that performs without you carrying it, and a team that can run it without you constantly stepping in. You also deserve to structure your own leadership role so that you feel strong, clear, and respected. You don't have to figure any of this out alone. I'm here for you. If today's episode helps you see your leadership in a new way, I'd love to hear about it. Come connect with me on Instagram, where I'm at Stacking Your Team, and tell me what's troubling you about your team right now. And hey, if you're tuning into this podcast because you work somewhere and you want to develop your leadership skills, I invite you to start following our sister company, Thousand Islands Leadership Consulting. Check us out on Instagram or LinkedIn so you can chart your course to the next level of leadership.
This is Ellie. Come back next Tuesday. My Mimi will have another episode for you.